Have you ever seen something that needed to be changed and thought, wow, someone should really do something about that? Or you saw someone who needed help and you thought, there is no way I am the right person. When I was in 6th grade, this was the story of my life. I was super nerdy and extremely awkward. And I mean, even though I'm super cool and collected now, when I was in 6th grade, it just wasn't the case. I was insecure. I was insecure in my faith. I was insecure in different aspects of my social life. I was just insecure. I wanted to have confidence in my ability to share what I believed, but I had no idea how to go about it. And despite the insecurities I felt in my ability to share my faith, even at that age, I still felt his calling in my life. And it terrified me. I was so scared. I wanted to have the right thing to say, so I just didn't say anything at all. Jonah 1:2-3 says, "Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, for its wickedness has come up before me." But Jonah ran away from the Lord to Tarsus. He went down to Joppa and found a ship bound for that port. After paying the fare, he went aboard and sailed for Tarsus to flee the Lord. Much like Jonah, I ran away from what I felt God calling me to do, because I thought that my plans for popularity and glory were bigger than his plans for my life. In middle school, I was given the opportunity to share my faith with a girl in my class named Emily. She was sort of quiet and reserved, but she still wasn't afraid to be friends with me, and I was obviously the most popular girl in class. Emily was bursting with the questions I thought I had to have the answers to. I had been challenged by my Sunday school teacher to be more open with my faith, and I felt a pull towards this girl in my class. But I didn't want my relationship with God to interfere with my relationship with my peers. So I took the road of selfishness and fear, instead of the one he had already clearly mapped out for me. I knew what I was supposed to do. He was calling me so clearly to go out, sacrifice my social standing, put myself second, and share his word. But I ran, and I pulled a Jonah. One day, Emily asked me what it's like to love God. She wanted to know God. She desperately wanted a relationship with him. She had the questions, but I was insecure about my answers. So I ran from a heart that was eager and willing for a relationship with him because I didn't trust him. Matthew 10:19-20 says, "And in the moment, don't worry about what to say or how to say it, for it will not be you speaking, but your Father speaking through you." I knew what to say. I knew the answers. My mind was prepared, but my heart wasn't. I was completely blinded to the fact that my heart was unprepared for him to speak through me. On his way to Tarsus, the ship Jonah was on was threatened by raging seas, and he was thrown overboard and swallowed by a whale. Jonah was in the belly of a whale for 3 days and 3 nights. He was at literal rock bottom, sitting in the belly of a whale when he finally called out to God and surrendered his wants for God's glory. Me and Emily no longer had a class together after 6th grade, but I seemed to see her everywhere. Whether she was right in front of me in the hallways or the lunch line, she was always there, plaguing my conscience. Every sermon I heard seemed to be about how a leap of faith can change a life, and she was the first person on my mind when I would pray or open my Bible. That incident, always being on my mind, became my will. 2 weeks before 8th grade started back up, somebody asked me something that changed the way I perceived evangelism for the rest of my life. They asked me, how much do you have to completely hate somebody? How much do you have to detest a person to believe that there's a heaven and a hell and we're all going there someday, and not tell them about it? Since that day, I've been doing my best to apply Jesus' word to my everyday life and show his love through all of my actions because we serve a mighty God. I was given another opportunity that next school year when Emily was placed in my class. And with constant prayer and preparation, God gave me the wisdom and confidence I needed in order to invite her to church, and he did the rest. And through all of this, I learned a very difficult lesson about how to just shut up and listen. I was able to watch God work, not only through Emily's life, but her mother's. Emily gave her life to Christ. And Emily began attending second regularly. It was through an event at church when her mom met my dad. A couple months later, they began to date. And God brought our families together. That girl I ran away from at just 12 years old has been my friend and sister for 5 years. God humbled Jonah and forced him through a very uncomfortable situation to change the lives of thousands. If Jonah and I would have just listened in the first place, God wouldn't have had to pull out the whale, and insecurity wouldn't have taken a toll on the amazing plan he has for our lives. I think it's safe to say that we've all ran from the Lord at one point in time. Whether you were like me and you didn't share your faith when you were given the opportunity, or maybe you ignored a pull to reach out to somebody just to tell them that they're not alone and that you're praying for them. Maybe you didn't offer godly advice to a friend because you didn't think they wanted to hear it. Stop running. Because for every time you run, somebody else stands still. So don't be like me. Don't pull a Jonah. Step back. Surrender your plans to the Lord. Open your heart and watch him work.